Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's your boy Uncle Strib. Today I got should be a quick one for you guys. But today we're gonna talk about my mantra, right? So I feel like it's important to have a mantra. Well, what is a mantra? A mantra is something you live by. Some people it's a song, some people it's a phrase, Bible verse, poem, quote, but it's something that you kind of have is like your motivation every day, why you get up, why you do what you do. A mantra. Some people's mantra is YOLO. You only live once, so they're gonna live life to the fullest. Or some people's mantra is, I don't know, get drunk or fry. I don't know, Friday, whatever. My mantra is called. My mantra is get right or get left. I didn't really get it from anywhere. I'm not saying I'm the first one to come up with it, but I didn't like get it from anything. I kind of was just kind of something I came up with because when you say you're working out, you're trying to get right. So I always, I'm getting right. I'm getting my body right, getting my mind right. I'm getting my diet right, getting my schoolwork. I always say I'm getting right. And so I kind of end up just turning into I'm getting right so I don't get left, right? Just kind of play on play words. So then my mantra just became get right or get left. For guys, for anybody that listens to the Garden 615, I usually more times than not I always end with get right or get left. You got to get right so don't get left. Get right before you get left. And I kind of want to just talk on how I came up or like where it all started because people that know me, I kind of have this mentality or this mindset of always being progressive, always being productive. I'm me in person. I'm always trying to get right. Every day I'm doing something to get right. And I'll explain what I'm gonna keep saying get right, but I'm gonna explain what that means. Um, but it's applicable to every part of my life. So starting off where it started in sports. So at first it was a sports thing. I've been playing sports since I was, I don't know, five. I've been started basketball since I was five. So I've been playing sports. I've always been in something competitive since I was five, right? So, when you get older, especially you get into like high school or even middle school, sports starts to get very serious, especially like high school. High school it's super competitive if you're playing at that level in school, travel, yada, yada, yada. So I did football, basketball, track. And I mean, track was year round. I was going to meets all over the place, indoor nationals, junior Olympics, regional meets, national meets. Basketball was kind of year round. I was playing for the school, going to the tournaments in the spring, obviously the season and all this stuff. Basketball was just or football was just football, but football was only in the fall because I didn't do spring ball because all the other two sports, but football it's competitive. And then we were doing like summer 7-on-7 tournaments. So I mean, you're talking about it's three sports almost year round, two of them year round, one of them half the year. So you're talking about competitive. And in sports, if you've ever played sports, you know that everything's a competition, even within the team. You're not just competing against other people. In the off season, you're competing for a spot. Well, if you're competing for a spot, you have to get right. You have to prepare to outdo the person in front of you or the person you're fighting the position with. So let's say you're a quarterback and you got one guy that's not watching film, that's not doing extra drills. Let's say they obviously do the bare minimum. So they watch film with the team, they do practice, they do the drills, and that's it. But you got another guy, he's getting extra work in the weight room, or he's working mobility or working something in the weight room. He's watching extra film. He's sitting down with the coach to really break down the film on a deeper level, yada yada. Well, one of them, the one that's doing this extra work, obviously, if their talent's about the same, sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes if the other guy's just way more talented, it doesn't matter how much extra work you put in. If the talent's about the well, let's assume the talent's about the same. The guy that's working harder is going to get that position. He's getting right, so he's gonna end up with getting the starting QB position. The person that's not doing any extra work, he's not getting right. He's getting left behind. He's going to be second string. Well, let's say he keeps slacking, right? Let's say then you got the third string, he starts putting in more work. All right, well, then that guy becomes third string. Then he comes fourth string. Next thing you know, he's on scout team. Like he's getting left behind, right? Or let's just say you got and again, this could also be like work life with, I don't know, just working hard and whatever your work is, you want to get that promotion, you got to get better every day. You got to put up the numbers you need for the promotion. And then the person that's not doing anything, they just get left behind at the lower or the entry level job while their coworkers are moving up. But anyway, so it started in sports. And so I was always getting right. I used to wake up, I want to say every year, all 4 years of high school, I was working out before school. Not necessarily with sometime with the team. I think a couple of years we were working out in the mornings, but even in the off season, every single day, Monday through Friday, if we had school, I was up there in the mornings before school started. Work out, I'd shower, I brought like a sandwich or I'd go get breakfast, and then school. And then after school, practice. And then after practice, depending on, how, if I had a game or not, but depending on that week, I was doing extra stuff. Some of it, if it wasn't lifting, because, can't do too much for sports, but, it was stretching or mobility or working this, working that, extra film, extra drills, something like that every day, because I had to get right because I wanted the position. Now, when you get the position, eventually I became a starter. Now you're getting right so you can compete against the other teams, right? So, as a DB, I'm watching film. I gotta get right. So when I line up against this receiver, I know what formation they're in. I got the down and distance. I see the personnel. So I think I already know what this guy's gonna do, right? So depending on formation, let's say, okay, 80% of the time, it's third down and 4+, he's gonna run a slant if he's to the boundary. Okay, I'm in the boundary, it's 3rd and 3. So good. I see the tackle's weight is on his heels. They don't have, I see the weights on his heels. He kicks back on the snap of the ball. All right, it's a pass. He's most likely probably going to run a slant. Things like that. I'm getting right. So in the game, getting left is me getting burnt or me missing my assignment. They're going to win every now and then, 50-50 balls, but knowing my assignment and knowing what I'm supposed to do in the situation, I'm getting right. And so to breaking this all down, it's pretty much just making progress every day, or people will pass you up. I ran track every day. I'm getting right. I'm running, doing extra. I'm trying to find ways to make the make it harder. There's one time we were running sprints. I was like, I'm gonna run sprints with these 2-pound weights in my hands, or like 1-pound weights. It doesn't sound like much when you do a whole track workout with a pound sandbag in your hand. It's a huge difference. Well, what does that work? Oh, when you get tired, let's say in the 400 or 400, that last 100, you still have the arm strength to use your arms as momentum to carry your body when your legs start dying out. Stuff like that you can carry over to that last home stretch. Oh, I got right, so I'm able to still compete. Now, what I will say is, just because you get right doesn't mean you're always going to win, but you won't be left. So let me break that down, because I feel like that sounds confusing. Let's say you're running track, right? And let's say it's you and it's person B. Let's say y'all are both of y'all are putting in the work. That means you're both getting right? Everybody can get right. Some people get right more than others. Some people get less more than others, but everybody can get right. It's just putting in the work. It's literally just putting in the work. That's all it is. So if 2 people are getting right, that somebody has to win, right? But if you're both putting in the work, all right, let's say you run, person B runs, person B wins. But you put in the work, you didn't get left behind. In the sense of, you did everything you could to compete. You went out there, you competed, and that's all it's about. So, and this is gonna be a segue later into my talk, but going back to making progress, and what people have to understand is you have to make progress every day. Like, no progress is the same as taking a step backwards, in a sense of like this. So every day you have to at the very least, take 1 step in the positive direction, right? If you do that at the very minimum, if you get a little bit better every day, then you do that every day, 10, 20 years down the line, you're going to be so further ahead in life from where you were 20 years ago, because it's about the consistency and doing it every single day for however many years, whatever it is, or days, months, whatever. you're going to be way better off, even if it's just 1 step or 1%, right? Now, but here's how no progress is negative progress. It's all about the net, right? So let's say one day you don't take a step backwards, but you stay where you are, right? Well, the person that's behind you, now this is all theoretical, or it could be depth chart, whatever, however you want to think about it, but it's all about being in, it's all about being, how do I want to say this? It's all about being in the group, right? So you got to think of yourself that you're competing not only with yourself, but with everybody out there. You want to get better every day, right? You don't have to be the best, but you don't want to be the guy that didn't get better today, or you don't want to be the guy that takes a step backwards, just in general. You're not necessarily competing against them anywhere. This is more of just the concept, but you don't want to be that guy taking steps backwards. Well, think about this. If you don't take a step forward and there's a guy behind you that takes steps forward, you're now behind where you were. So even though you yourself didn't backtrack in whatever you're doing, you just stayed the same. But in a true sense, you took step backwards because the people behind you passed you up. You still went back. It's like let's say it's a list of 100 people. It's like rankings, if you can imagine. Or let's say you're playing Call of Duty and you got rankings top 100. This is just a concept. I'm not trying to compare life to Call of Duty, but I'm just trying to just visually paint a picture of how no progress equals negative progress in a true sense. You got a ranking. Let's say it's Call of Duty top 100. Let's say you're 50th, and every day you've been slowly increasing your XP. And let's say you started off at 70, and every day you took 1 step ahead and rank. Let's say the rankings are all close, right, within 1 XP of each other. And every day for past 20 days, you went from 70 to 50, right? And let's just say this day something happens, I don't know, but you don't lose any stats, you don't lose points and whatever. Let's just say it's pays off points. You don't lose any points, but you don't play the game, so you don't gain any. You don't put any work in the game, so you don't gain any XP. And everybody's within 1 XP of each other, right? Well, the people behind you, let's say 4 people right behind you played and got 2 XP. They moved in front of you. So you're no longer 50th. You dropped 54 or 55, whatever. You dropped to where you're lower ranking than where you were. It's the same concept with you got to make progress every day. Because if you don't make progress one day, and then let's just say life happens, I get it. Sometimes it happens, but if you go 20, 30, let's say you go 30 days making no progress, you've backtracked because you haven't made progress in 30 days. It's a whole month. You've been passed up, whatever. It's like at work. Let's say you're supposed to be, let's say you work in sales or you're supposed to work, you work in some type of industry where it's all about your production, which I would assume 99% of jobs, it's all about production, whether it's sales, whether it's producing physical items, whether it's producing content or concept. If you go 30 days without production, you've been passed up because your other coworkers have been producing at least something every day, right? So it's all about making progress at the bare 1 step. What could that be? Let's just say one day you're sick and you can't do anything. You could at least read a book, read. You don't even have to be a whole book, but just you do something that day that makes you better. Maybe you watch a 5-minute motivational video. Maybe you watch or read some type of, I don't know, article about the importance of, I don't know, but it could be literally the smallest thing to where you got maybe you learn, just look up something new. You learn something new, some type of knowledge to add to your reservoir, or I don't know. I can only speak for myself, but it could literally be anything that makes you a little bit better than what you were yesterday. And so now I'm going to segue into how, again, at first it started off external, right? About competing with other people, about, if you're in work life, it's about, competing with obviously healthy competition. I'm not talking about out here cheating and doing whatever it takes to win, but healthy competition. For those of you that don't know, I work part-time at Shoe Palace, and we don't make commission. It's hourly rate, but they do keep up with your sales, because when it comes to promotions or certain things, or when it comes to like grading out your performance, it's all based on like sales and UPT, items per transaction, and stuff like that, apparel. So they break it down, but they keep up with your sales, right? And so I'm not saying like, get dirty and do whatever you got to do to beat the person next, but it's a healthy, we have a healthy, friendly competition. Who can sell the most every week, or who can sell the most apparels, who can sell the most socks, who can sell the most cleaner. It's a healthy competition because as long as we're all trying to compete with each other, the store as a whole does better. If one of my AMs, they're elite. They're the best. The managers I have, they're the best sales people I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, they could push some shoes or some clothes. And because I watch them go out there and do crazy sales, I want to compete with them. So I go out and try to sell more. Well, when they see, oh, this dude's trying to hang with us, then they do more. Then I do more. Next thing you know, we're competing with each other. We're having fun. We're trying to outdo each other in a fun, competitive way. But then when you look up, the store as a whole is doing, we're selling so much stuff. And then once the company looks at us, they're like, oh, snap, this store can really sell. It helps everybody, right? That's the type of competition, just laying the record. That's the type of competition I'm talking about, healthy competitiveness. But anyway, started off as external motivation, right? And then it turns into internal motivation. So obviously I played sports, high school, I played college ball. So everything, it was like super external because I wanted to play. Well, see the field, there's only 11 people on the field at once, whether it's offense, defense, special teams. There's only 11 people per team on the field at once, right? So, and you're talking about, it's 127 people on a college football team, somewhere around there. So you're talking about only 11 out of 120 can see the field at once. You're talking about supply demand, low supply, high demand. You gotta earn that spot. It was all external. Well, now I'm retired from football. So now I'm trying to work to like competing and powerlifting and stuff like that. But when it comes to now, I'm transitioning my competitiveness in the weight room. Now, I'm not competing with anybody in the weight room at the moment. I want to get to competing. But that's a story for another time. But right now, it's all about the weight room, fitness, right? Personal fitness. It's called personal fitness for a reason. So it's all about me battling myself. It's all becoming internal now because, well, most of it, obviously the shoe palace job is still a little external, but even then that I'm trying to transition it to more of an internal motivation, because that's what gets me up in the day. That's what gets me up every day. That's why I have this crackhead type of energy and positivity, because today, no matter what happens, I've had days start off so rough. I've had everybody goes through it. You have like the worst day ever. I don't care what happens to me that day. If I got a little bit better than I was yesterday, that's all that matters. That's a win. My car could break down. I could lose. I don't know. My car could break down in the middle of nowhere, and then I got to walk miles just to. I don't care what happens. If I got better that day and I got right in something, it could be in the weight room. Let's say like on a weekend, I don't work out on the weekends. It's my off days on Saturday, Sunday. So there, I don't really get right in the weight room on Saturday, Sunday. Well, recovery, you could argue. But anyway, but I usually work at Shoe Palace, or I work on my content for whether it's my fitness app or my YouTube channel or my podcast channel. I work on something, whether it's writing up a business plan or writing up like a marketing strategy, writing up notes for the next podcast, some type of progression. So I'm better off tomorrow and I'm better than I was yesterday. So that's what my get right is. My get right is focusing on getting better than yesterday. So yesterday I did this. All right, what do I need to do today to be better than yesterday? And then what do I need to do today to where tomorrow it sets me up to be successful as well? So I've gotten to the point where it's not only just getting better from the past, but it's setting myself up so that tomorrow I'm set up to where it's easier on me to get better tomorrow, because I did everything I needed today for that to happen tomorrow, or for it to be easier tomorrow. Just like, I don't know, let's say, for example, let's say I gotta do a presentation tomorrow, right? And let's just say it's a quick little 5-10 minute presentation. Well, let's say it's tomorrow, and let's say I didn't find out about it till yesterday. Well, yesterday, once I found out about it, I would have gotten like an outline together of the presentation. All right. And then I would have made sure it was straight. Then today, or I have the outline. Now I'm going to lay out the framework of the presentation and get it all together. So now tomorrow, the presentation's done, right? So tomorrow, I'm set up for success for this presentation because I did the work not only yesterday, but the day before. I got right the day I found out, outline. Then the next day, okay, I got the outline. Now, how do I get better today? Okay, let me just finish putting together the presentation so I don't have to worry about it no more. Got it together. So now tomorrow I get right. I present and try to do my best to kill the presentation. I got right, so I didn't get left. I didn't get left because I got right, was ready for the presentation. That's how it works for me, but it's internal. It's all about me battling me, and by me battling me, it's all because everything, stuff happens in your life where you can be negative, right? And then when you let that negativity or you let that negative energy or that negative vibe, whatever you want to call it, whatever kids call it nowadays, when you let that because we all know negativity and positivity is contagious. Or if you let that negativity influence you, you've lost, right? Well, for me, I want to win in everything I do. I'm competitive. So when I get right for the day and anything, it could be work, school, like anything I've said, it's all about getting better, being positive, because I know I'm equipped with the discipline to execute this stuff. And again, it could be physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. It doesn't have to be like sports. Like I said, it could be work. It could just be with yourself. Let's say you set a goal for yourself to read a book, to read a book. Well, if you're the type of person like me, I'm not a big reader. Comic books, yes, but like a textbook or like a paper book with just words. I'm not a big reader. I do read. I'm reading a book now, but I'm not like a guy that's gonna try to go through like a couple books a month. Not at all. I'm more of a visual learner anyway. So it's easy for me to just YouTube things, like watch educational videos or I'm also an audio listener. So I listen to a lot of like financial literacy podcasts or a bunch of educational podcasts. It's easier for me. Obviously, you gotta, what works best for you, but I'm not a big reader when it comes to stuff like that. But let's say, I gotta go, I want to read this book. So I think this book, let's say it's a book on, I don't know, financial literacy, right? Because I think this book's gonna help me to become a better person financially, so I can do the thing, whatever the reason. But let's say I want to read this book, so I think it'll make me a better person, right? Well, I would have to set a goal for myself. I have to go, all right, I'm gonna read 10 minutes every day. I'd have to do something like that to get right. But that's where the internal motivation is gonna come, because when that day comes, let's say I started tomorrow. When tomorrow comes, I got a choice. Because at the end of the day, getting right is a choice, right? So I could find those 10 minutes a day. I could sit down, read for those 10 minutes, bam, check mark. I did it. I got better today. Or I could read more, but at least, like, again, just 1%. Let's say that 1% is 10 minutes a day. At the bare minimum, 10 a day. I could do that 10, or let's say I'm tired. I don't feel like I had a long day at work. I finally get home. When you get home, you don't feel like doing anything. And let's just say, instead of reading this book for 10 minutes, I'm like, I could just put on my new show, start binge watching or catch up, whatever, get on the video games, play some Call of Duty. I have a choice to make. I can read for those 10 minutes, or I can just be, I'll do it tomorrow, not today. That's that internal battle with yourself, the internal motivation. No, I said, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to read for these 10 minutes. Because I know if I do this every day, eventually I'm going to finish this book. But if I start skipping, it's going to take me way longer. It's going to take me way longer to read this book than it should. Or what happens is you build a habit. I build a habit of not reading for my 10 minutes. Next thing you know, I started a book and I'm only 2 pages in and it's been 3 years. And I still haven't finished the book. You can create bad habits or habits of not reading at all, period. So that's that internal motivation of just, I'm going to do this for me because it makes me the best me. And that's pretty much where a lot of my get right or get left is coming from. It's just the internal thing with me. I have fitness goals. I want to be able to squat a certain amount, bench a certain amount. Well, if I skip my workout days, if I skip, if I start consistently skipping days, I will never reach those goals, because you got to be consistent to reach, to like push past your max. You have to be super consistent, right? Especially once, last time I maxed the squat, it was 565 pounds. My goal by the end of this year is to squat 600 plus, 600 or more if I can. I will never reach that if I start skipping leg days here, leg day there. If I start skipping leg days like that, I will never get there. But it's all on me. There's nobody else is going to put the muscle on me. Nobody's going to eat the way I need to eat to get there, to put on the muscle for that. Nobody's going to do the squat for me. Or if they did do the squat for me, they get stronger. I don't. So it's about me doing the work. And that's how that internal motivation just kind of, I don't know if this even makes sense, but that's where it comes from for me. It's just that internal motivation. Now, again, I've explained, get right is just getting prepared or getting ready for whatever it is. Fitness, work, hobbies, life in general, goals. Some people's lives are purely motivated on goals. Some people's goals want to be a millionaire. That's why they work so hard, because they want to be rich and be a millionaire. Or people want to go on a vacation at the end of the year, so they calculate, okay, I need to work this many hours for this long for this many months, so in December I can take this vacation because I know about how much it's going to cost. And that's their pure motivation for their work life the whole year. Whatever it is, goals, life, hobbies, work, fitness, you gotta prepare yourself and do the work so you can reach that goal, or whatever the motivation is. Getting left behind, if it's an external get right or get left, falling off, slacking, not improving yourself personally, internal, you got to get right or you get left. And the crazy thing about it is it's one or the other. There is no middle ground. You're either getting right or you're getting left. It's one or the other. There is no like, I don't even know how to, there's no in the middle, because there's just not. Now, I guess you could technically, there is an in the middle if you're somebody that is just content, don't really care about, you're content where you are in life. You don't really care enough to get better, but you're not slacking off to where you're getting worse. Let's just say it's at a job. Let's say you're at a job, you work at, I don't know, let's just say you work at a position. You don't want the promotion, but you do enough production to where you won't get fired, you won't get demoted. And you're just sitting right here. If you're happy where you are and you're just like, I'm cool with this, I don't want to do more, like, then I guess, but that doesn't exist to me. I'm going to always want to achieve a greater level of life, or I always want to get stronger, right? I'm never going to reach a strength to where, okay, I'm good, I just want to chill here. If I squat 600 pounds, all right, bet, I'm done. No. If I hit 600 by December, all right, then the goal by next year is 620, 630, or 640, depending on how the 600 felt. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to always want to be stronger, right? I'm not going to always want to be bigger, but it is what it is. But I'm going to always want to be stronger. I'm going to always want to generate more income, right? Because there's things I want to do. I'm going to always want more. Humbly, but I'm going to always want more, right? Just like when I get my PhD. Once I get my PhD, I'm not going to be, all right, cool, got my PhD. Now it's time to chill. No, once I get my PhD, that's opening up the doors. I'm going to want more. I want to become a professor. Once I become a professor, okay, I want to be the best professor there is. I want to go for professor of the year. All right. Or I want, okay, I'm a professor. I want more. I want to run I want to run a department. It's like running I'm going to always want more. Now there might be certain jobs where, let's say you're the CEO, or you're the CEO of a company, and let's say you're the highest up, or it's your own job. You're the highest up, you own it. There might be jobs where you want to just, all right, I'm cool here, because next, let's say you want to be regional manager, or let's say you want to be district manager, but because regional manager is too much, but you just want to be district because you're like, all right, cool, that's cool. You can still get right in other places. So there are, like, job wise, I could see where you might not want to keep going job wise, but that's why for me it started to become internal, because no matter where I'm at job wise, I could be making $50 million a year. I could be making $100 million a year. I'm still gonna do it every day. I'm still gonna do something to make me a better person. Maybe not a better worker, because let's say I'm the best at what I do. Nobody's better than me. I make 100 million a year. Okay, job wise, all right, cool. But I'm still getting right because it's becoming a better person. You can always become a better person. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So you can always become a better person or a better mentor, a better teacher. Or let's say you're in that job position, you're the highest up, or you are where you are. Now you're like, okay, how do I use my platform to help other people? That could still be a form of getting right in the workplace. Let's say, oh, I'm CEO of Microsoft. I can't get any higher besides owning. Let's say you don't want to own. I just want to be CEO. It's my dream job. I'm here. Bam, now I'm here. Okay. Don't slack. Be the best CEO. Or use that platform. Okay, how do I help other people? How do I give back? You can always do more. But that's enough ranting for today. I appreciate you guys for listening. Again, follow the Instagram at IB Talks Podcast, and I'm excited to bring you guys more content. Also, if you want to DM me or hop on the cast, guys, reach out to me. We can hop on the cast. We can talk education, politics, sports. It doesn't matter, whatever have you. But we appreciate you guys. Don't forget, get right or get left. We out. Even if I touch a meal and do it through the pain, I don't need a pill. And life gon' get me down, but it won't break my will. Cause I've been chasing this so long, I can't give up. I won't give in, been through too much. I done prayed for the money, I done prayed for the fame. I done prayed that I will make a sacrifice and play this game. I done prayed that my life would never be the same. I done prayed